The camera angles. All right. Whatever. We're getting started. Welcome back, everybody. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. It is Sunday night. That means it is time for us to do our Sunday night workout, which is the exact same as Monday through Sunday because we do this show every single day of the week to help you and me practice a little bit of consistency. All right. You can have the best plan in the world, but if you can't execute on that plan, you can't keep coming back doing the work. It's probably not the best plan for you. And hopefully, you'll find that this show is a little bit better version of a plan. Hopefully, you'll find out when you do it. All right. We're going to do 45 to 60 minutes of hip mobility and side split stuff. And the first thing we're going to do right now is stand on up to get into our first move, the hip CARS. CARS is an acronym, stands for controlled, C, articulated, A, R, rotations. All right. My girlfriend stared at me because she hates it when I tell you what it actually means when I say cars, and she thinks it's distracting. So you tell me, do you think it's bad when I tell you about cars? Because she stared at me, I paused, I had a mental freak out, and then I was like, what's going on? Why is she staring at me like that? And it got this whole entire chunk of the video completely detoured off into me telling you why. I was like, I can't remember my acronym anymore. Anyways, now you know. All right. Hip cars, let's do this. We're going to start by bringing our knee up as high as we can. Then from here, we're going to open up that leg directly that way. All right? It's going to go boom. From here, we're going to rotate the leg. What a bam! We're going to hide the ankle behind the knee. All right? It's not actually hidden. It's just from that particular angle. It looks like it's hidden, but we're just trying to get it to level. All right? Then we're going to keep rotating. We're going to bring the knee down. We're going to lift the ankle up. You're going to feel this contraction in your hamstring. It's going to feel crazy because your leg is rotating so much. And then we're going to bring the leg down and back. When you're looking at me from the front when we're doing this, it just looks like I'm bending my knee, all right? But from behind, it looks a little bit like this. The leg is extending, it's going back. You're feeling it in your hamstrings, in your glutes, in your front of the hip. That is 1 rep. We're not counting that rep. That whole movement was 1 rep. We're doing 10 reps starting from now, and that's it. We're just gonna do a whole bunch of these. You ready? Let's go. High knee, open, ankle up some more, down and back. That's 1. Again, high knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 2 high knee, open, ankle up, down and back. That's 3. If anybody commented that they support me, by the way, just know that this part of the chat might disappear at some point. So I might ask you again to vote whether I'm better or my girlfriend is better. You've never met my girlfriend, so you should just vote for me. All right? Cool. All right. Awesome. Continue. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. I think that's 7 high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 8. If it's not clear, my girlfriend helps to put a lot of the videos together. She does a lot of editing. And for the short form content, not the live, because we don't need much editing for the live. I just do whatever I do, right? And that means she gives me a lot of criticism. It's called feedback. What is criticism? All right, let's continue. She's gonna be some stink eye later. It'll be a funny stink eye. It won't be a that was bad, Ken. Don't do that again. I think. I hope. Looks like it'll be okay. She's smiling. All right, let's go. High knee. Open. We're switching to the other side, by the way. Hopefully, the story distracted you from how much. Oh, she's still looking at me. Oh, she looked at me again. That's scary. Hopefully, the story distracted you from the suffering that you're going through right now. I'm sweating a ton. I don't know if that's out of fear for the consequences of what I've done today, or if that for the fact that I'm just very warm. And I've been filming videos the whole day trying to get through some stuff, so I've been perpetually warmed up. All right? I have no idea how many of these we've done. But open, ankle up, down and back. We'll pretend that's like 9. I feel like my hip tired meter is telling me that's about 10. 10! We're going to move on. We're going to go in reverse then. All right? When we go in reverse, I want you to start by bringing the leg back, lifting it up to the side, right? You know this position now. Rotating the ankle up, knee up, ankle down, and bringing it forward to the front. We'll do 10 of those on the left, 10 of those on the right. Let's go. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 1, back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 2. I'm super off balance right now because I keep on trying to sneak peeks at my girlfriend's face to see if she's mad at me. She does not appear to be mad at me, in case you're wondering. But if you are also off balance, feel free to stick your hands out, grab something, grab a wall, and let's keep going. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 4, back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 6, back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 7, back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 8, 2 more, back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. My fingers are really itchy. I wonder if I just got bitten by a mosquito at some point. And what the heck? That's 10. All right, let's keep going. We got one more leg before we wrap up all of this. Let's go. Back, side, ankle up, ankle down, knee. That's 1. Keep going. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. 2. Wow, I'm super off balance on this leg for some reason. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 3. Keep going. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 4. 5 more, 6 more. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. 5. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. 6. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. 7. 3 more. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 8. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 9. There's one last one. I'm trying to regain the balance to finish this up nice and strong. Let's go. Back, side, ankle, ankle, knee. That's 10. Oh, that is our first warm-up exercise. Those are hip curls. We're going to move on into our second warm-up exercise. It's called the elephant walks. We're going to fold at the hips. I'm going to bring the belly button down towards the ground, and we're going to chill here for a second. Maybe if you're feeling it right now in your low back, give your back a chance to relax a little bit. All right, inhale. Exhale. Let your body flop forward just a little bit. Chill, breathe, catch your breath, and all right, now we're gonna move. We're gonna bend one leg. We're gonna straighten out the other one. We're gonna fold our belly button down with a relatively straight back. Doesn't have to be perfect, but relatively straight. And we're going to switch our knees back and forth. So we're getting that stretch in the hamstring on each leg. All right, switch. Woo. And switch again. Woo. Switch again. And switch again. Oh, feeling your hamstrings. There is not an exact number that we're gonna do. Mostly because I gotta tell you about the rest of the show, and this is the perfect opportunity for you to keep going while I tell you about stuff. You're trapped. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we put ourselves through a little tiny bit more fun. Hopefully it's fun. Tell me it's fun. And um, what else? If you like hip mobility, if you like working on trying to make your body work a little bit better, maybe even some advanced hip mobility, side splits, then you're probably going to enjoy the rest of the show because that's what we do every single day. And you should hit follow, you should hit subscribe, you should set a calendar invite, you should set an alarm and keep coming back. We're live every single day starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. That means we started like 10 minutes ago. All right? That time. I'll see you again tomorrow, the day after that. Keep coming back. Okay, cool. All right. We have done a whole bunch of these, and now your hamstrings hopefully are a little tiny bit looser. All right. Bring your belly button down a little further. Fold. Fold some more. Keep folding. And switch. Back. 4, 3. Make these really intense. That's 2, 1, 0. All right. Pop into a little bit of squat. Come on back into standing. That is our second warm-up exercise. We're going to move on into number 3 right now, and that is thoracic rotation. Thoracic rotation is rotating this chunk of the spine below the neck, basically up until about the belly button-ish. From here, we're going to do something that looks like this. Rotation, all right? And because most of you don't do very much rotation in your normal life, this might either feel really good or you're going to be like, whoa, I need to rotate more. Those are both good things to know and to find out because we do a lot of this. We do it every day. All right, let's go. We are getting back into the position we were just in. One leg is bent, one leg is straight. We're taking the arm from the bent leg side, reaching across to that straight leg. We're pushing off the straight leg, rotating the spine, opening up, sticking our hand up into the air if you can. If you're at more of an angle like this and this is your best, that's a-okay. Just try your best. We're rotating the neck too. Also, look at the hand. If it's up here, great. If it's over here, amazing. All is good. When you're looking at the hand, inhale. Exhale and reach over your shoulder. Woo, that is half a rep. When I say exhale and reach further back over your shoulder, I really mean let the air out of your lungs. When you have a whole bunch of air in your lungs, it's like sort of like when you got a balloon and you want to put some rotation in it, you kind of have to work around this balloon getting twisted all up and doing crazy things. When you let the air out of your lungs, it's like the deflated balloon and there's no pressure on your ribs to keep you from doing more rotation. Basically, exhale, rotate more, probably. All right? Other side. Bent leg, straight leg. Bent arm, straight leg. Open up, look at the hand, inhale. Exhale, reach. Woo, that is one rep. We're doing 5 of these. That means we got 4 more. Let's go. Bent leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open it up. Look at the hand. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 2. Other side. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 2. Keep going. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 3 again. Inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 3. Continuing. 4. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Again, inhale. Exhale, reach. And last one. We're going to cover it from the top in case somebody is joining at the last second. We are bending one knee. We are straightening out the other leg. We're folding our belly buttons down towards the ground. We're taking one hand from the bent leg side, reaching across to the straight leg. We're pushing off this shin bone to help rotate our spine. Extend your arm up into the air the bestest that you can. Rotate your head to look at that hand. Inhale. Exhale and reach over your shoulder. That's 5. Last one on the other side. Inhale. Exhale and reach. Woo, that is 5 reps of thoracic rotation. That is our third warm-up exercise. We're moving right on into the fourth and final warm-up exercise. We're doing some Cossack switches. What I want you to do is open up your legs a little bit and try to pop into a deep squat on one leg. It should look a little bit like this, or this, or this, or this. Wherever you are, no matter how high off the ground you are, as long as you're squatting into one leg, the other leg is basically doing a split looking thing, you're doing the right thing. All right? Our next step is to move our butt that way. Come on over to the other side. If you are high enough where you're like, oh, there's no problem, boom, great, do that. If you're lower and you're like, I can't really get over to the other side, maybe have a couch, an ottoman, a coffee table, something in front of you so you can put your hands down to give you a little bit of support to come on over to the other side. And if you're low to the ground, you can do the same thing, except you get to use the floor. All right? Use those hands, scoot your butt over to the other side, and that is only half a rep. We gotta come back. Come on back. That is 1. We're doing 10 of these in total, so we got 9 more to do. Use whatever you need to get over to the other side. Inhale, exhale. See if you can sink a little bit deeper into that bottom position here. And then come on back. Boom. That's 2. If you realize you can do this without using your hands, feel free to try it without your hands. That's 3 and 4. If you realize that you're ready for something more hard, feel free to sit up a little bit straighter. Extend your arms out in front of you to help counterbalance and keep going. Here's 5, I think, and 6. By the way, if you can't do any of these variations, just do whichever ones make sense for you wherever you're at in your flexibility strength journey. All right? At this point, your knees might be telling you this is a little crazy. We need to lighten up. All right? Here is how we're going to do that. We're going to come up a little bit. It's going to take some pressure off the knees. We're going to go wee slide on over, and then we're going to sink on down into that stretch. Then we're going to come up, come on back over, and slowly sink on down. That way, you're not doing as much of this side to side and putting pressure on your knees. You're coming up first, finding a gentler position, doing that side to side, and then coming down. I think this is 8 and 8. We got 2 reps left. I don't know what I'm doing with my fingers. We got 2 reps left. I'd like to do some squatting. All right. When you're down in this position, I want you to inhale. I want you to exhale, and I want you to deflate like a little balloon. See if you can sink a little deeper into this bottom stretch position. And then we're going to inhale, and we're going to exhale. On the exhale, I want you to push out of that leg, come back into standing. All right, let's go. Inhale. Exhale, push. That is 9. We got to come down on the other side. Take it nice and slow. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Get into a deeper stretch. Inhale, relax again. Push out. Ready? Inhale. Exhale. That is 9. We got 1 more rep to wrap this up. Let's go slowly. Come on down. Inhale. Exhale. Sink a little deeper into that stretch. Inhale. Exhale, push. That is 10. Come on back down. Inhale. Exhale. Sink a little deeper. And let's come back up. Inhale. Exhale, push. That is 10 reps of Cossack switches, Cossack slidey things, and a couple of Cossack squats if you were able to squeeze that in. Again, this is a show with lots of options, or at least that movement had lots of options. And we give you all those options in case you get a stronger point, maybe a more flexible point, so you can adjust to what works, what makes sense for you. We want it to be slightly challenging. All right. That is our 4 warm-up exercises. That means it's time for us to move on into our stretches. All right. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to make some community, and to have some fun while we're at it. All right. If you like hip mobility, if you like side splits, which is just advanced hip mobility, you need some help maybe, build in some consistency, make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe. And now that you know that, now you've pressed a button, wherever it is on the screen, make enjoy the rest of the show. All right, we're gonna get into our first stretch. It is a hamstring stretch, and what I want you to do is grab a little bit of cushioning. Oh, I grabbed too much cushioning. Grab a little bit of cushioning to pad your knee. All right. The purpose of this padding is, like I said, to pad your knee. Does not have to be fancy. Does not have to be a fancy yoga mat or fancy cushion. If you do gardening, you've had a mat that you use for the garden and you're okay with using it on your floor, perfect. Gardening mat, awesome. Couch cushion, decorative pillow, easy. Dirty laundry, roll it up, stick it under your knee. You don't have to get that low, you probably won't even smell it, all right? If you have a flip-flop, some sandals, something that potentially is missing its matching pair, feel free to grab the one remaining one and put it under your knee. We're ready to go. All right. What we're going to do from here is set up our hamstring stretch. I want you to stand up, or sorry, kneel up, and then extend one leg in front, maintaining this nice and tall posture. All right. We're going to fold. Bring the belly button down to the thigh. Ready? Inhale. Exhale and fold that belly button down. Whee! As soon as you get stuck, your hamstrings are telling you, no way are we going any deeper. Feel free to pause, feel free to chill, and feel free to inhale. Exhale, relax. Let your body flop into that leg. When we do these, if your back is rounding because you're just so relaxed, that's fine. If your back is rounding because you're desperately trying to smash your face into your knee and you're like rounding and bending and trying to squeeze as little as you can, you're working too hard. This is chill, all right? Relax, chill. Let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 2. Let's do it again. I lost an earbud. Earbud, come back. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 3. Oh, what happened? I got it back. Okay. All right. Continue. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. We didn't talk about this yet because I got distracted, but knee up looks like this. We're doing a lunge. And we're folding our upper body down to that leg. If you can't reach all the way down, that's okay. Just try your best. And then we're going to put our hands down for some balance support while we straighten out our legs and feel that hamstring stretch. All right? We're going to go knee up. Modification for someone who might, for this version might be too hard. For the stretch? This stretch. If the, sorry, what part of this? They have artificial hips, so they have artificial hips. Okay, yes. All right. The hamstring stretch has lots of basic pieces that are important. The main one is you are feeling the stretch right here in the back of your legs, right? So if you don't want to do it this way, which oftentimes is the easiest way for you to balance because your hands can be on either side supporting you, another way you can start working on the hamstring stretch is just folding forward a little bit. If this is also not so good for your hips, then that is going to be a little challenging to find an alternative for. If you want, you can experiment with being seated. If you can lean forward a little bit, that's a good starting point. A lot of people don't have the flexibility to be folding forward like this, where gravity can help pulling you down. So if you're sitting straight up, it might be a little bit harder. Um, for today, you might want to just skip it. But if you reach out to me, I can come up with a couple of other variations, perhaps with bands, with something else to help pull you forward a little bit if you can't be in that kneeling position. All right. But the hamstring stretch in all its variations is us going forward like this, either seated going forward. Dog bowl, why are you here? Seated on something higher, letting gravity help a little bit more because it's easier to get a little bit further forward going forward. Standing going forward, or kneeling and letting your body go forward. All right. At the end of the day, all that's happening is us folding our upper body towards our legs. If that is not something that makes sense for your hips wherever they're at in your life, then it's going to make the hamstring stretch a little bit more challenging. Cool. All right. Where are we going with this? What did we just do? Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Knee up into that lunge. Chest down, folding forward if you can, and slowly straighten out that leg so that you're feeling the hamstring stretch. All right? Then we're going to do that a whole bunch more times. What we're practicing here is the skill of this forward fold, and then feeling that hamstring stretch, and sort of transitioning between these two spots. I call it knee up, chest down, straighten it out, because it's a little bit more clear. But realistically, once you've been doing this for a while, you're just transitioning back and forth between here and here to take some tension off the hamstring, put some tension back in the hamstring. Tension off, tension on. All whole time, we're trying to bring our upper body down towards the leg. I've been doing this for a while, so I can get pretty low, but if you're just getting started, your version might look a little bit more like this. All right? That's absolutely okay. From here, we're going to fold a little bit deeper now. We're going to take a big breath in to our lungs. We're going to slowly exhale air out of our lungs, and we're going to fold at the same time. The goal is to focus on the belly button and bring it down closer to the floor. All right? Big breath in, inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 belly button down. Woo! Your hamstrings should be feeling a lot crazier. Maybe you got a little tiny bit deeper than when you were bending and straining out your leg. Perfect. We're going to stop putting all this intensity on the hamstring right now, and we're going to inhale and relax. All right, inhale. Exhale, relax. Let your body flop over that leg and chill. Let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 2. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 3. Whew. Once you've done 3 of those, we're going to go right back into our knee bend, chest down, straightening. All right? Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Remember, the goal here is to practice that hamstring stretch at the bottom and practice folding forward. That means take your time with those parts. All right? I have completely lost count of how many I've already done, but I feel like this might be 4, and this might be 5. Take a second, do as many as you need to catch up if you are not at 5, and we're gonna fold a little bit more. Okay, again, mine might look a little bit more crazy for you if you've never really stretched before. I've been doing this for 500 plus days, like daily. So I've had a lot of practice. All right. So don't worry about what I'm doing versus what you're doing. Focus on what instructions you're following, which hopefully are the ones that I'm giving. All right. Inhale, exhale, and fold. We're going to take a big breath into our lungs. We're going to slowly exhale the air out of our lungs and focus on bringing the belly button down towards the ground. Ready? Let's go. Inhale. Exhale and fold, 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 fold. Inhale, relax. Let your body flop into that leg. Let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 2. Third time, inhale. Exhale, relax. That is our stretch. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. Ooh, what is that on my foot? Is that a spider? No, knee up, chest down, straighten out. It is not a spider. It's just something. But in the shadow of the lighting, it looked like it was moving, and I was like, "That's crazy. That is a brave spider." Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. I think that's 4. One last one. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 5. We're hanging out here for 30 seconds, and that is it for the stretch. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16. Keep on breathing. Don't hold your breath. See if you can keep on folding your belly button down towards your leg. You can also experiment with that inhale. Exhale, relax. And let your body flop over that leg if you want. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. All right, pop into a little bit of a lunge. Slowly come out of that stretch. Your back might have been feeling a whole bunch of stretchiness, and so it's not excited to move at the moment. Take your time. Slowly come out of it and breathe. Bring that leg in. Tuck it underneath you. Get back into kneeling, and let's switch legs. Other leg is now in front of you. We're folding our belly buttons down to that thigh. Inhale. Exhale, relax, and fold on down. From here, it's time. Inhale, exhale, relax. Big breath in. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let your body flop to the floor. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let your body flop a little bit further. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little bit deeper into your stretch. This is the first time we're doing it on this leg, so if it doesn't feel nearly as flexible as the other leg, remember you did it twice as many times on the other leg, all right? Maybe 3 times as much on the other leg, because I can't do math. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. We're doing this again. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 2. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 3. Again, if you can't bring your chest that far down yet, that's okay. Just try your best. All right. The goal is to bring your chest real low to the ground. Work on stretching out those hips. Knee, chest, straighten. Now, it's time for us to fall a little bit deeper. You all ready? Inhale, exhale, fold. I say inhale, exhale, relax, and inhale, exhale, fold. Usually I try to remember to just say inhale, relax, so that it sounds a little bit more different, but occasionally I forget in case you're wondering. All right, inhale, exhale, fold. Big breath in, inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. Bring that belly button down towards the ground. Let's go. Woo. Inhale, relax. This is just where we chill, all right? Inhale. Let your body flop into the ground. Let's do it again. Inhale.
Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into the ground. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little bit deeper into your stretch. That is 3 times. Knee up, chest down. Straighten it out. That's 1. Feel that stretch in the hamstrings. It's a very important part of this movement. That's 2. Knee, chest, straighten. That's 3. Knee, chest, straighten. That's 4. Knee, chest, straighten. That's 5. And we have done enough to fold again. Let's go. Big breath in. Slowly exhale and fold at the same time as we're exhaling. Ready? Let's go. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Bring that belly button down. Inhale, relax. Let your body flop into the floor. Again, inhale. Relax. Sink a little bit deeper. 3rd time. Inhale. Relax. And knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 1. Again, knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 2. Knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 3. Knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 4. Again, knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 5. We're going to hang out here for 30 seconds, and that's the end of our stretch. This stretch, not the show. Stretch. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our hamstring stretch. Take a second. Slowly bring your leg in. Come back into something that resembles a kneeling position. While you're kneeling, I want you to flex your glutes like somebody's about to spank you, so you're protecting your butt. You go, ugh! And then I want you to do the same for your core, for your abs, all right? Pretend somebody's going to go boom, boom, punch you, and you go, ugh! And then once the abs are clenched in the front, the glutes are clenched in the back, you've woken up those muscles that were relaxing a little too hard while we were doing our hamstring stretch. We're ready to move on into our second stretch, all right? The second stretch is called the butterfly. In some countries, it might also be called the tailor's pose, and hopefully you'll recognize that name. What we're going to do might be a little bit different than what you remember from when you tried it last. We're going to move our butts, our low back, our shoulders, our head up against a wall. All right? When we're here, we're going to grab our feet, we're going to bring them together, we're going to pull them into our groin. There's 2 pieces to this that one of them you might know very well. One of them is folding forward. We're not going to do that much of that on today's show. Most of it is going to be bringing your knees down into the ground to stretch out the groin muscle right here. All right. What I want you to do, chest straight, is use your own muscles to see if you can push your knees down towards the ground. We're flexing our glutes, we're flexing our outer thighs, we're going and trying to push our knees down towards the floor. If you have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. But one thing you can try real quick is to do something like this. Flap your legs a little bit. The muscles you use to push your legs down a little bit is basically the same muscle that we're going to use to push it down a little bit further. All right? If that didn't make any sense to you, don't worry about it. We're going to keep going. Hands. Grab them. Push down on the inside of your knee. Just a little bit. And see if you can apply pressure straight down into the ground. When you do this, you're going to feel stretch building here in the inner thighs, and that is absolutely what we want. Keep steady pressure, and we're going to breathe and exhale for 30 seconds. All right, inhale, exhale. Apply a little bit of pressure. Push a little bit harder. Inhale. We're going to do this for 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27. Inhale. Exhale, push. 21, 20.
Keep breathing. On the inhale, don't change up anything. On the exhale, see if you can push your legs down just a little bit harder. If it feels like there's a sharp pain, stop. If it's not a sharp pain, it's just uncomfortable, keep going. 15. Inhale. Exhale, push. 9. 8. Do it again. Inhale. Exhale. Push, push, push. Probably 1, probably 0. We're done. That's it. That's the whole thing. If it's your first time, I didn't do a very good job of explaining in advance, but we breathe in, and as we exhale, as we let the air out, we apply a little bit of more pressure to push our legs down towards the ground because that is the goal of the stretch. To feel more of the stretch here in the inner thigh. All right. If you didn't get it today, I'll try to do a better job explaining next time, and then you'll get it next time. All right. We're gonna move on into our third stretch, but before we do that, I want you to flap the wings of your legs a little bit. I want you to flop your wrists a little bit because we want your legs to be working for our next stretch. We're doing some pancake. All right. Come on up off the ground. We're getting into our third stretch, the standing pancake. I know somebody had a hip replacement and was having some issues, potentially working on that hamstring stretch. The pancake is going to have a huge hamstring component, so this might also be uncomfortable for you. Double check. You might need to skip it. All right. From this somewhat open leg position. Doesn't have to be crazy. If it's just like this, that's also fine. We're going to fold forward. We're going to bring our belly buttons down towards the ground. It's going to look like this. Whee! All right. From the side, it's going to look a little bit like this. We're going to try and fold forward to bring our upper bodies to about horizontal. The reason why we do this is because when you're about horizontal, gravity is going to feel the most intense pulling you down. We're using gravity to give us as much help as possible. And there's one other thing you can do, or at least two other things you can do to make gravity even more intense for you. One, extend your arm up over your head so your biceps are by your ears. And next time you exhale, see if you can get gravity to pull you down a little deeper. If that's not enough for you, you're like, I'm ready for more. You're pulling a SpongeBob. We can hold on to something, add a little bit more weight, and let gravity help a little bit more. All right? If your balance is not so good, instead of standing, you might want to try and take a seat. You can still open up your legs just about the same. You can still reach your hands up. You can still hold on to something. You can still fold forward. Standing pancake is a good place to start for most people because it'll be the easiest way for you to get into this starting position where gravity is helping you out the most. But if that is not good for you, balance or some other reason, the seated pancake is a great alternative. The higher your seat, the easier it will be to fold forward. Cool? All right, let's get into it. You can open up your legs a little bit wider if you want. Completely optional, up to you. We're trying to get here, sure, into this folded position, but the ultimate goal is to fold our upper body in between our legs as deep as we can. And that is why we want gravity to help as much as possible, right? Take your time, get into that position, fold nice and deep, and we're going to hold this for 30 seconds. Keep breathing. Keep on trying to bring your belly button down in between your legs. Ready? 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, we're done. That's it. That's the pancake. Put your hands down. Slowly wiggle your toes and your heels in towards the center of your body. If they're far away, it'll take a little longer, but come back into standing. Come out of that position. You might want to walk your hands up your thighs as you stand up. And that is our third stretch. We're going to move on into our fourth stretch. I'm pretty sure last night we did the. Did we? I'm pretty sure yesterday night we did the figure four stretch. So tonight we're going to do some pigeon. All right. If you're regular, feel free to jump in whichever one you prefer. If you are not a regular, it's your first time, you have the option between two moves. Every night I explain one of them, and today is the day where we explain the pigeon stretch. I'm going to try and fix the foam flowing on the floor for a second because I ripped it up to use as a foam mat earlier, and now it is completely stretched out. That's my fault. Next, what are we doing? Pigeon. The pigeon stretch looks a little bit like this. We're taking one leg, we're going to cross it over to the other side. You don't have to do this. I'm just going to demonstrate real quick. And we're going to grab that leg. We're going to bring it up towards the belly button. We're going to bring the belly button down towards that leg. You're going to feel a stretch here in the side of your hip. This is a glute muscle. You're going to feel a stretch potentially here in the hamstrings. Your hamstrings are usually in the back side of your leg, but when you do the pigeon, you're rotating that whole entire leg, and your hamstrings are going to be sort of on the inside, right here. And you might feel a little bit of pressure here when you're actually doing the fold, but that is normal. All right, let's take that position and bring it down to the floor. The leg is across the body. We are seated. We're going to primarily focus on this part of the motion. We're taking this middle line down between our eyes, down our nose, down our mouth, down to our belly button, and we're going to try and match it to the midpoint on our leg. Between the knee, between the ankle, somewhere in the middle, we're going to try and fold forward and match this middle line down to that midpoint. And it might look a little bit like this. When you fold forward, try to deflate your lungs, try to sink into the floor, feel the stretch in your glutes. If you push your foot a little further away from you, away from your groin, away from your body, you might feel more intense of a hamstring stretch, and it will feel a little crazy even though you're moving a tiny little bit. All right, that is the main portion of our stretch. There's some secondary portions. For example, this side leg right here. If you want, you can keep the leg slightly bent, just off to the side, whatever. You can also extend that leg out totally off to the side if that's more comfortable for you. There is another version of the pigeon stretch that you might have seen if you've done some yoga, and it looks like this. You extend the leg completely back behind you like so. When you do it this way, you're going to feel a huge stretch here in the front of your hip, and you're going to put a whole bunch of pressure on this back knee. If you're new to the show and you're like, this is a little too much, but I do want to work on that particular version, feel free to do so. And what you can do is elevate your front leg. When you bring your hips up a little bit off the ground, it's going to make more space because your hips are off the ground, and you'll be able to have a slightly easier time bringing your leg back behind you. All right. This stool is like a 9-inch stool. You can use whatever height of stool that you want. It will still work just fine. Now that you know all that about the pigeon, let's actually do it. Again, leg is crossed in front. What you do with your other leg is optional. We're taking this middle line to the midpoint, and let's go. Keep the hips low, then fold your chest down afterwards. Breathe, inhale, exhale. Sink a little deeper into that stretch. Feel it in your glutes, feel it in your hamstring. 30 seconds, let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26. Keep breathing. Sigh out that air. See if you can sink a little deeper towards the floor. 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our pigeon stretch. We've done one side, we got to do the other side. Same thing on the other side. We're crossing this leg across the body. We're finding that midpoint, and we're doing whatever you want to do with the back leg or side leg, the other leg. Fold forward after you bring your hips down first, and inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into that stretch. Let the air out of your lungs sink deeper. Feel that stretch in your glutes, in your hamstrings. Push your feet away from your groin towards your face to make the hamstring stretch feel crazier. Breathe. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22. If you're a regular, I want you to experiment. Straighten out your back a little bit and see if that suddenly makes your glutes feel crazier. 17,
16, 15, 14. Usually we start with just relaxing, exhaling, letting gravity pull you down. Once you've been doing this for a while, you've been pulled down as deep as you can get. Straightening out your back will make gravity feel a little bit more intense, will help pull you down a little bit deeper. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. If you ran the test and you straighten out your back a little bit more and you feel it more in your glutes when you do that, let me know. All right. We've just done 4 of our 5 stretches. Everything we've done so far has been preparing us for this fifth and final stretch. If you somehow don't know yet, we're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. Clearly, we have not done any side splits yet because our final stretch is the side splits, and everything we've done has been pre-stretching a muscle that you kind of need to have loosened up for your side splits. If you've never done one before, do not worry. We're going to break it down into lots of little pieces. We're going to grab some tools to help make the process a little bit easier. And hopefully, if you decide that it's a little too intense, you can stop, pause, take a break, chill. All right? So, if you like the direction that the show is heading, if you like the good vibes, hopefully, that I've been trying to bring, make sure to follow, hit subscribe, and let's get into some side splits. All right? I want you to go grab some hand support. The purpose of this hand support is to help you do this. Give you something to push off of so that your legs are not the only thing supporting your weight when they go wide. All right? Take a second, breathe, and go find something to use for hand support. What I have is just a regular folding stool. It's not a fancy piece of gym equipment. It does not cost a lot of money. If you have a folding stool, great, use it. If you don't have a folding stool, you have a regular stool, perfectly fine. All it needs to do is be able to support your body weight a little bit, right? Most stools should. And it should be lightweight enough that you can kind of go get out of the weight and push it out of the way so that you can get out of your stretch position. All right. If you have a coffee table, if you have an ottoman, you have something that will definitely support your weight, but might not be so mobile, that's okay as like a secondary option. But if you have something a little easier to move, even a dining room chair, a kitchen chair, that will be acceptable. That will be okay. A kitchen chair might be a little bit higher, so maybe you might have a little bit of a difficult time trying to get deeper into your stretch, but you can always rest on your forearms instead of having your hands all the way locked out. Cool? Hopefully, you've grabbed something now. We're going to move on into starting our stretches. Take your hand support, bring them with you, walk over to a wall. Let your butt touch the wall. Open up your legs a little bit. Your heels do not have to be touching the wall. They can come out forward a little bit. So you're kind of leaning backwards and letting your butt touch the wall. From here, put your hand support in front of you, and we're ready to fold. We're ready to get into our side splits, right? I want you to fold. Whee! Put your hands on your hand support. All right. From here, open up the legs just a little bit. Doesn't have to be crazy. Just open up a little bit. Find a comfortable-ish spot. From here, I want your butt resting against the wall, your hands on your hand support, your feet down on the ground. What we're going to do next is called rotating our legs. All right. We're going to take our feet from this position where the toes are basically pointing forward, the knees are basically pointing forward. We're going to rotate the whole leg backwards so that, boom, the toes are kind of pointing up and out, knees are pointing up and out, and your inner thighs are now pointing forward. So we rotated the back, leg back 90 degrees. All right. We got to do the same on both legs. Boom, boom. If you're new to the show, if you don't have a whole bunch of foam on the floor, this will be uncomfortable. So please use your hand support to take some of the burden off of your heels. Now, we're going to go a little bit deeper. The legs are going to go a little wider, and we're going to slowly slide our butt down the wall. The wall is there to support us, so we can't fall backwards, so that we have a little bit of friction slowing us down when we are falling slowly, towards the ground. And it works together with the hand support. When you push off the hand support, you push yourself into the wall, it helps you feel a little bit more stable, all right? That's why the hand support and the wall are used together to help us get into position. Once you have sort of started coming down a little bit lower towards the ground, you've maintained the toes pointing up, knees pointing up thing. We're going to find a relatively comfortable spot to spend some time in. All right. The reason why this relatively comfortable spot is important is because if you feel like you're about to fall over, if you're feeling scared, if you feel like
something is uncomfortable, if it feels like it hurts, for example, your muscles are going to tense up to protect you. They're going to be like, what? What is going on? Stop it. I don't like this. Don't let them slip, right? That tension is the opposite of what we want. We're trying to relax our muscles so that we can get into a deeper stretch. So I want you to find a position where you don't feel like you're off balance. You don't feel like you're about to slip. You feel relatively comfortable because at the end of the day, you're still in a stretched out position. And from here, I want you to breathe nice and slow. All right, big breath in. Inhale. Hold your breath for a second. Slowly exhale. See if you can sink a little bit deeper into your stretch. If you can't, don't worry about it. If you're stressed out about it, it's going to just make your body tense up and it's going to be harder to do the next one. All right. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Relax. That's two. Let's go again. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Relax. Sink a little deeper into your third one. We got some optional wiggles. See if you can push your right heel out a little bit, your left heel out a little bit, right heel out a little bit, left heel out a little bit. If it's not moving, don't worry about it. Right now, your toes are pointing up, your knees are pointing up, the top of your heads are pointing up. If you're less flexible, which is 100% normal, your version might look a little bit more like this or like this, and that is okay. We're going to hang out here for 30 seconds, let gravity do its job, slowly and steadily chill right here. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25. Your butt is resting against the wall, your hands on your hand support, your legs are carrying some of the burden. 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. If you feel like your legs could have some more burden, you can always bend your elbows a little bit. That will put more weight into your legs. 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our stretch. Walk your hands forward a little bit after you throw your hand support out of the way. Bring your legs in underneath you and find a chill, restful position for just a second. That was our first side split. All right. Breathe. Relax. Part of the reason why I recommend you get something lightweight was for that move right there where we pushed it out of the way so that we can get out of that side split position. If it's really heavy, it's really blocking you in, it's going to be much harder to get out of your position. All right? Now that you know why we want a lightweight stool-ish thing, let's move on to shaking out some of the tension in our legs. Come on back up into standing. Ooh, if your legs don't want to work right now, that is absolutely okay. Just very gently, very slowly find something to hold on to if you need it and shake out your ankles. All right? What we want to do right now is visually see that our leg muscles are starting to relax a little bit. When you're holding on to something for balance support, then you can see the other ankle sort of flopping around, shaking, wiggling, going. There's a good chance that the muscles in that part of your leg are pretty relaxed, which is what we want. Switch over to the other side. Start nice and slow. Pick up the intensity as you find it comfortable to do so. You don't have to whip your leg around and use a lot of momentum. Just gentle, shaky, shaky, floppy, floppy. Kind of look like a soggy, overcooked noodle, and that will be pretty good. All right. When you're seeing your muscles flop all over the place, when you're seeing your joints kind of going loosely flopping all over the place, your muscles are probably relaxed. And that's what we want. We're going to move on into our hips. I want you to put all your weight into one leg, big toe of the other leg down. And I want you to flex your glute muscles and flex your inner hip, inner thigh muscles to bring that knee all the way in and all the way out. All right? Different muscles doing both jobs. Right now, all that is moving is this thigh bone in the hip socket. And we're working on maximum range of motion so that you get some extra control out of those leg bones, out of your hip mobility. Once you've done a couple of these, you can go a little faster, you can turn it a little smoother, and you can have a little bit more fun with it. Shake, 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 wiggle, 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 flop, 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 and whoo, other leg. All your weight is in one leg, big toe is down. This leg has almost no weight in it, so you can switch out at any time, all right? Knee in, knee out, knee in, knee out. Remember, if you're new to the show, focus on building strength, control, precision, power. And then once you've been doing it for a while, you can turn to a dance move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I feel like we shook out this hip a lot more than the other one, so if you need to do a couple extra ones here to even it out, feel free to do that. All right? Hopefully, your legs are feeling a little bit more relaxed. Hopefully, you've had enough time to relax in between our side splits because we're getting ready to go into side split number 2 now. All right? Bring your butt up to the wall, hand support in front of you, and let's get into side split number 2. Open up your legs just a little bit, rest your butt against the wall, fold forward, hands down. Whee! Open up those legs, find a comfortable-ish spot to rotate the legs. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. Let your legs slide out. Adjust your hand support so that your hands are very close to your hips, so that all of your body weight is going straight down as much as possible instead of leaning super far forward, if possible. And find that chill, comfortable position. Comfortable with an asterisk, because you're in a deep stretch and it's never going to be that comfortable. It's just a matter of how uncomfortable it's going to be, but comfortable-ish position. All right. Inhale. Hold. Exhale. Relax. If you can, sink a little deeper into your stretch. If you can't, don't worry about it. Stress will not make it easier. Inhale. Exhale. Relax. See if you can sink a little bit deeper. Again, inhale. Exhale. Relax. Whew. Third time's a charm. Casual little wiggle from side to side. Try to push your heels out just a tiny little bit more. If at any point you get out of that sort of kind of comfortable-ish position where you feel like you're in control, adjust, find something that you can rest in a little bit, and let's go. We're doing side split number 2. Right now, we have done side split number 1. For side split number 2, I want you to try and focus the stretch on the inner thighs. You can do that by leaning forward a little bit, maybe putting your hands down either on the floor or on your hand support in front of you. And your knees and your toes are kind of pointing up at a 45-degree angle. That's going to put extra pressure on the inner thigh, which is where we absolutely need this for your side splits eventually. 30 seconds, let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, move your hands support out of the way. Walk your hands forward. Bring your legs in underneath you. Slowly with control. Grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to as you come out of the stretch. Chill, relax, breathe. And once you had a second to rest, let's get back into standing, shake out our legs, and get ready to crush side split number 3. All right? Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Other side, shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Remember, the goal is to shake out your legs, let the muscles relax. If your legs are already flopping around, going all sorts of places, it's probably pretty relaxed. All right? If you're ready to move on, let's move on into the hips. All of your weight is in one leg, big toe of the other leg is coming down. There's almost no weight on it, and we're going to rotate that leg in the hip socket to work on that range of motion. In and out, and 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 whew, it's probably good. Let's switch to the other side. All your weight is in one leg, big toe is down and in and out, 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 and whew, shake out that leg, shake out the other leg, shake some more, flop some more, wiggle some more, shake, 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 get loose, and that is probably enough to get us into side split number 3. All right, let's go. Butt up against the wall, hand support in front of you. Open up those legs just a little bit, and let's fold. Whee! Hands on your hand support, legs going a little bit wider. Find a comfortable-ish spot to rotate the legs. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. Let your butt slide down the wall. Use your hand support to push yourself in between your hand support and the wall. And let your body slide down. Let your legs support some of your weight. Let your hips support some of your, or let your hands support some of your weight. And let your butt, I guess, kind of lean into the wall so you also get a little bit of support for your weight there too. All right? Let's find a spot to breathe. Inhale. Exhale, relax. See if you can sink a little deeper into your stretch. Let's go again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. See if you can sink a little deeper. If you're not going deeper, don't worry about it. Don't stress. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 3. Optional wiggles. Push a little to the right, little to the left, little to the right, little to the left, little to the right, little to the left if you can. And let's get into our final side split. You got the option. Side split number 1, where our toes are pointing up, our knees are pointing up, the top of our head is pointing up. You're going to feel it a little bit more in your hamstring. We got option 2, the inner thighs. If we walk our hands forward a little bit, we lean a little bit more forward, you're going to change the main focal point of that stretch. You're going to feel it more in your inner thighs. I'm going to do stretch number 2, or a version of it. And I hope you're ready. Let's go. 30 seconds. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I'm going to go for a little longer, but you guys can stop. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, walk your hands forward. Come on out of that stretch if you haven't already. Grunt, groan. Take as much time as you need. Make as many sound effects as you need, and find the comfortable resting position. That was our third and final side split. Whew. And when you're ready, let's shake out our legs. Come on up back into standing. Feeling a little wobbly, you can always do a couple of quick checks, make sure everything is feeling okay, and hold on to something for balance when you shake out your legs. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Relax those leg muscles. And do this side. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Over time, as you do more of these shaking, wiggling, floppings, your brain will figure out how to relax a little bit more on demand. It'll go faster and faster and faster and faster. And you'll be able to breeze through these, all right? Let's move on to your hips. All of your weight is on one leg, big toe is down, knee in and out, and 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 in and out. And that's probably enough. And next, do the other side. All your weight is on one leg, big toe is down, in and out, and 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 in, and that's enough. All right. Whew. Hopefully, your hips are feeling a little looser, your legs are feeling a little bit more relaxed, and we're ready to move on into some deep hip circles. All right. We got 2 moves left: hip circles, calf raises, and then we'll be done. We're gonna slowly lean on into this hip. We're gonna not walk. We're gonna slowly rotate through as much range of motion as possible. Make sure every part of your hip is tested and checked. Make sure everything's feeling okay. All right. These are called joint checks because we're just going through checking our joints. Keep on coming through. Do a couple of loops. If some of your muscles are feeling extra tight, extra crazy, feel free to spend some extra time there and give it some love. Switch directions if you haven't already. I can't even remember which direction I started or if I switched, but hopefully you remember if you have. If you can't remember, don't worry about it. Just whatever direction you're currently doing, go the other way for a second and be like, does this feel familiar? If you have no idea, hopefully you've swapped a bunch of times in a bunch of different directions and you've evened it all out. Cool? All right. We're going to move on into our calf raises. Our calf raises are a little bit crazy because we're going to challenge a whole bunch of joints all at the same time. They look a little bit like this. I want you to open up your legs about hips width apart, and I want you to pop into a little bit of a squat. All right? From the side, this squat is going to look like you're kind of leaning forward. And we're going to make it even more challenging by pushing our knees in that direction too. We're pushing everything forward. What we have left keeping us from toppling over at this point is our toes, ripping the floor, trying desperately to keep us from flopping onto our face that way. All right? That is what we want. We want our toes working because it'll also get the arch of our foot to kick in to help keep us stable. From here, we're going to do some calf raises. All right? You can use the hand support you were using before. You can do this against a wall, even. And what we want to do is lift our heels off the ground and get into some crazy calf raises. All right? Push your knees forward, lean forward, calf raise. Take your time with the up and down. Come on up, come on down. Try to balance your weight between your big toe and your index toe so that your heels go straight up and down. When you come down, try to reset, get back into that stretch for the Achilles tendon, for the calves when you push that knee forward, and keep going. Oh man, I missed. 3, and down. Reset. 4, and down. Reset. 5, and down. Reset. 6, and down. Reset. Once you have done enough. Because how many you do is completely up to you. Once your calves are telling you no more, once your quads are telling you no more, whenever you feel like you're done, congratulations, we're done. All right? What we just did was force our toes, the arch of our foot, our ankles, our calves, our quads, our hips, our low back to work really well together and do some crazy looking calf raises. All right. A lot of the time in actual life, you'll never be really using one joint, one muscle at a time. You'll be using a whole bunch of stuff, trying to do a lot of crazy stuff all at the same time. And that was one quick challenge to challenge everything a little bit to check that your joints are working okay. All right. Toes, feet bones, feet muscles, ankles, calves, quads, knee, hips, glutes, low back. Are we missing anything? Hope we're not missing anything. But that was like 5 things. Maybe it was 10 things. I can't remember how many fingers I had counted to. But I have 5 up at least. So it's at least 5, maybe 10. All right. Lots of things we just checked. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming in, practicing a little bit of consistency, working on your side splits, working on your hip mobility with me today. We are all done for today. If you've never been here before, then you should know that this is a live show that we run at 9 p.m. Eastern every single day. It is currently a little past 10:08, so we started an hour and 8 minutes ago. And now that you know that, you can set an alarm for the 9 o'clock start time, an hour and 8 minutes ago. If you like the show, make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, because we do this every single day. If you otherwise want to see some of my other content, it is mostly about trying to make movement a little bit more fun, trying to make fitness a little bit more fun, and trying to integrate it into your day so it doesn't feel like a big burden, this thing that you have to go to, and is more just a part of how you move through life. If you wake up stiff, if you get out of the car stiff, if you get out of your work seat stiff, and you're like, ugh, limping like a drunk penguin from side to side as you stumble around, a lot of the time that stiffness comes from not moving your muscles. So if you start incorporating a little bit of gentle movement through your spine, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but even if you did a little bit of a shoulder wiggle from side to side to help just move your spine a little bit, move your hips a little bit when you're sitting at work, that can go a really long way towards helping to make sure your back is a little bit looser, is a little bit more comfortable when you do get up, when you start, doing your not at the desk stuff. All right. That same principle applies to just stuff in general. If you got 2 minutes waiting for coffee to come out of the machine, you got 2 minutes waiting for the microwave to heat up your lunch. If you got something cooking on the stovetop, that is plenty of time for you to do a little bit of movement. Hopefully, if you've hit follow, if you've hit subscribe, you'll doom scroll yourself into some of my content. It will give you another healthy, gentle reminder, potentially funny one, so that you get a little tiny bit of movement into your whatever it is that you're doing. All right. That is what I do. That is the live schedule. That is probably all you need to know. So I'm gonna hop into the chat and see what we can do for you. Ugh, man, I moved too close to the chat, but I guess I can just scoot the cameras back. Hold on. Boom. Let's take a look at YouTube real quick and make sure that's wrapped up. Usually there's fewer comments on YouTube, so that's why I start there. No, no, email, Medina? No, Noemi Medina. Sends a whole bunch of crazy emojis with fingers and eyeballs and pointing and hands and I don't know what's going on, but welcome. Night Virtue says, realizing I'm not as flexible as I thought I was. Hey, that's okay. That wake up call right there is oftentimes the thing that makes people start doing new things. Hopefully, this is your wake up call. I'm just kidding. Wake up call sounds really serious. If you're not as flexible as you thought you were, that happens. When you don't use range of motion, oftentimes your body slowly goes, we don't need that. Forgets how to use it. And only when you get into a demanding, challenging situation, you're going to be like, oh, hey, you know what? I can't do what I thought I could do. And that is completely normal. Most of your daily life, you don't need 95% of the mobility that I demonstrated earlier today, right? If you did, life would be a crazy time. And also, if you did, you probably also move a lot better than you do, right? So, self-fulfilling prophecy. If you don't need it, you kind of lose it. And if you don't spend time training it, then you're just going to keep losing it. A lot of the flexibility that I'm demonstrating is probably not actually necessary for your average human being to have, right? So if you're a little older and you're just trying to move a little bit better, then the first couple of months of this might be super helpful. If you're trying to do cool things like stick your face into your knee and fold perfectly flat, that might take a little bit longer, but also for most people, not that essential. So if at some point you're practicing the show and you're like, why do I even care about this? I don't need any more hamstring flexibility, or I don't need any more pancake flexibility because I don't use it in my normal life. That's totally fine. I respect that and I understand because you got lots of other cool things you can be doing that you invest your time in. All right. I think the side splits, I think a lot of extra hip mobility is really good. And it's because I have noticed since I was like 12 years old that my hip mobility is not so good. I had some friends who were like gymnasts who I wrestled against, and you could just like fold them up into little balls, and they'd be like, so what? Over here, somebody bring my leg down towards my face, and I'd be like, oh my God! And I'd be done. I'd be like, nope, not more. Can't do this. Or I'd be really upset at them, right? So from a very young age, I knew I need to work on my hamstring flexibility, I need to work on my hips, and then I never did that. And now this show exists because I was like, okay, I gotta sit down. I actually gotta work on this now. And the only way I figured out how is to be very consistent by doing it live, inviting you guys to join in so that I had some stakes, so that I knew that if I didn't show up to do my practice, I'd be letting other people down. All right? That is basically how that went. And now this live has been running for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of days. All right, what else we got? Andy Lima says, how's that crazy toe split? It's good. My feet are crazy. Oh, thanks. Lois says, I think I've been doing these stretches for a few weeks and I feel more flexible. Thanks. Amazing, Lois. Thank you. I'm gonna take a screenshot. I'm just gonna capture that. I don't know when I'm gonna use this little tiny testimonial thing, but if I do one day, I'll ask you before I post it anywhere online. I promise. I'm just kidding. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this, but it makes me feel really good when the training is actually helping people. And sometimes it's good to have a record of it because I do a lot of these lives. They start to blur together, and then I go, what happened this week? I did a lot of lives. But your encouragement, knowing that you're making progress, really, really, really helps to keep me motivated and keep me coming back. Thank you, Lois. All right, what are we doing over here on this side? TikTok. Do 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 do. Somebody whose username says is 111 says thank you. You're very welcome. True Blue says good evening. Welcome, welcome back. Che sending awesome emojis as per usual. Welcome, Che. Certified 20 is smiling at Trouble with Roxy. What did you say? Trouble with Roxy, I'm scrolling up, I'm scrolling up, I'm scrolling up. My baby brother says he likes the show as well. Oh no. Is it because I'm like a giant child and he like really, really bonds with babies? Trouble with Roxy says he can't see the chat from where he is standing, but don't worry, he checks in on the end. Okay. Boom. Charles actually says, "Aw." Oh wait, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Yes, I know. I just wanted to make sure I asked before I forgot. But thank you. Okay, I'm gonna scroll up. All me. What are we going on? Is this still considered pigeon pose if the legs and toes are facing outwards instead of inwards? Is this still considered the pigeon pose if the legs and toes are facing outwards instead of inwards? The leg and toes are facing Oh, if you're doing this, like you're trying to fold forward while doing this, um, no, I don't think so, because you're stretching completely different muscles. If this is not what you're talking about, facing outwards instead of inwards, then I'm not really sure what you're talking about. But if you're feeling the stretch out here in this side glute area and possibly in the hamstring over here, generally that'll just always be a pigeon or a figure four, right? The goal is to stretch out those side glutes. And if you're doing it, it's close enough to a pigeon. If you're getting some extra bonus cool thing in at the same time because you're adding something fun with your ankles or feet or toes or something, that's it's probably still a pigeon. Because the main thing you're probably going to be stretching is that glute muscle. Cool? Alright, let's keep going. What else we got? Do 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 do. Estella says, "You are great!" with all caps and three exclamation points and a smiley face. Yo, that's so kind. Okay. What else? What else? What else? What else? Then, wow, man. Am I going blind or is it these glasses? I can't read today. Den says, "Can I cover some rent for next month if you text?" Oh, can I cover someone's rent for the next month if you text me? Oh, okay, cool. I was like, that's crazy. And this person has said it 3 times. I probably shouldn't have read it because clearly that's spam. But again, I can't read. I can't see. So that's my problem. All right. Maria says exercises. Oh no, it's in Spanish and I can't. Hold on. I think if I hold it and I hit the translate button, I can get a translation. Continue to be the basis for being in health. Good. Yes, I like that. That's true. Gentle, basic, gentle, basic exercises go a really, 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 really long way. Right? A lot of the fitness content on the internet oftentimes is designed for like somebody who's already fit, who's trying to get even more fit. And a lot of people, most people, the general public, unfortunately, is not that fit, right? So when people break out all sorts of crazy moves and they're like, oh, hey, if you want to work on one-legged squats like this, and you can do blah 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 about it, for most people, that's not going to apply at all, right? So at least for this show, it's not so much strength requirement. Some of these stretches that I'm doing, especially when I'm doing them, can feel like they require a lot of flexibility to get started, but they really don't. All right. All of the stretches that we've been doing, I have been doing in some way, shape, or form for about, man, what month are we? We're in August. I started this live in November 1 of 2024. So I'm closing in on 2 months, 2 years. All right. 9, 10, 11. So 3 months from 2 years, and a year and 9 months. Yeah, that's probably 600 plus days, right? I've been doing this show a really long time. I've gotten a lot more flexible in a whole bunch of different places because of the stretches that we do. And so, if it feels like, what are you talking about, Ken? You're doing crazy stuff too. I promise you, we've been doing the same stretches. We've been trying to do the same thing over and over and over again for hundreds and hundreds of days. And I'm just a little later in the progress than you are. All right. I hope that's motivational. I hope the number 600 doesn't scare you. Part of the reason, since I brought it up, that I'm at day 600 is because this show is live, right? And it's designed to be doable every single day, at least for my body. If you start doing it every single day, maybe you don't recover as fast as I do. Maybe you don't sleep as well, or you don't eat as well, whatever, all sorts of reasons. Maybe you wouldn't recover as fast as I do. But this show is designed for me to be able to do it every single day without me feeling achy or beat up for the most part. And I do that because I want to make sure that it is a daily show, that I keep on showing up so that I offer other people the opportunity to show up as well. There are lots of ways to start training flexibility a little bit faster, but they beat up your body a little bit more. And if I started changing it up, it would probably end up being like a once every 3 days show instead of a once every single day show, and it would become much harder for me to practice that consistency. And I know from past experience that if I was stretching once every 2 days, once every 3 days, there's a high likelihood that I'm going to drop off. At this point, because I've been doing this for so long and then like stretching is a daily part of my life, it might be a lot easier for me to stay consistent at this point. But I think because this show started as a way to help people build consistency, to help people sort of have that everyday thing to help them set their life, their schedule around showing up, that there is a lot of value in this format. And I would love to keep this format available for everybody that needs a little bit of help practicing consistency because it's made a huge difference for me and my progress. Um, so why am I saying this? There are lots of ways to speed up the training speed. I'm not using very many of them in this show because regular standard passive stretching is enough for me and my goals. If you absolutely need to get the splits in a much shorter time, there's like really intense, way more painful ways to get there. Occasionally, I sprinkle those into the show to give a couple of like more interesting, nuancy sort of stretches in. If you remember that I say, hey, try to smash your heel into the ground and contract that hamstring stretch, that is a more advanced technique. And it was probably not very comfortable for those 10 seconds or 15 seconds, however slowly I counted, where you were trying to apply pressure to push your heels into the ground during that hamstring stretch. Those techniques you can absolutely use, and you can use longer durations. You can use more repetitions to train your muscles to cause them to adapt to the stretches a little bit faster. We don't do that very much here in this show because I need you all to be relatively good and comfortable and functional so you can go back to work tomorrow and do, normal people stuff. Most people aren't coming in trying to be completely beat up for the next day. All right. So, if it's very, very, very important to you that you get as much flexibility as humanly possible in the shortest amount of time, you're willing to suffer, this is probably not the fastest way to do it. But if you know consistency is a bit of a struggle for you, and you want to just focus on making sure that progress is on its way because you're doing the right things, you're coming in, you're showing up, then this is probably a much more reasonable show for you to be on. Cool? All right. I'm going to scroll a little bit more and see what else we got. Zane says, Ken, you are the GOAT. Oh, amazing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Philly Paces is running an ultra marathon. Oh my gosh, what's going on? I'm scrolling up. I'm looking for the comment. I'm looking for the comment. Philly says, finding this 12 hours after running my first ultra marathon is exactly what I need. Congratulations on that first ultra marathon. I don't know if you're still on. There's only like 15 people left on the TikTok live, but if you are, congratulations. It's so cool. I'm really, really impressed. That is a lot of running. I'm proud of myself when I run for 20 minutes and I don't stop. So that's crazy. Thank you for being here, and I'm hopeful that you got some relaxation done. All right, let's see what else we got. Kocheeks says hello. Hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Estella says, you are amazing. These are hard. Oh, okay, there we go. This is the comment from earlier. I have two artificial hips. Do you have modifications for someone like me? If I don't know that much about artificial hips, okay? So I don't know if I do have modifications for you. But if you tell me what's uncomfortable, if you tell me what you can and cannot do, I can probably make some adjustments. But again, I don't have that much experience with people with artificial hips. So it might be also a good idea to go find somebody who does. Because I want you to make sure that you are doing what's best for you and make sure you're doing the right thing. Cool. Let's see what else we got. I'm gonna scroll a little faster. I was making jokes about my girlfriend earlier, so I would love to see if we still have some comments about that. Because that would be hilarious. Hilarious. My girlfriend just scoffed in the corner of the room. I'm squinting really hard. I don't know why. I think my eyes are just really tired today. So if you think I have bad vision, that's probably true. Lalasta, is that right? Lalasta says, is this only for men and or women can join? Yes, you can absolutely join. Polo says, I have a question. Oh, wait, did Polo's question come in? Because I saw Polo's username a little earlier. Was that something I already answered or no? Travel actually responded to Polo and said, you can ask the question. I will look at it later. And I don't know if I saw Polo's question actually come in. So, if you're still on, Polo, feel free to throw that question in the chat. If you've gone already, then we're good. J Bean says, do you go live every day at the same time? Yes, I do. Every single day. Oh man, I don't see any of the comments from when I was making fun of my girlfriend. So that's too bad. Disappointing. All right. What else we got? I'm gonna scroll all the way to the bottom of the chat so that we can take one last look at the chat as I've been talking for a while now. And Idney says like a one-legged frog pose. Cool. Exactly. It's a one-legged frog pose, right? That is not as much a pigeon. It is more a slightly different stretch. In this case, you compare it to a frog pose, that's probably a good call. There are some other terms for that similar type of leg position on the internet. If you're in the more gentle part of the internet, you might have seen something called 90-90s, right? Which is a little bit more like this. And it's just moving your legs while they're in this sort of 90-degree angle from side to side. I'm not so good at these because, I don't do these every single day, or I don't do these every single month, let alone every single day. But these are really good for your hips and opening them up if you need a particular chunk of range of motion. These are real good. All right. Ugh. But like I said, the main focus of the pigeon stretch is that sort of glute muscle over here. And I would be very comfortable saying it's probably not a pigeon stretch if you rotate the leg out the other direction because you're getting a completely different set of muscles in the hips working. What else? Certified 20 says, low, he sent more likes than he stretched. Oh, good. I mean, that's helpful. I need those too. All right. You might not know this, but TikTok sends way more people to the live when lots of people are liking the live and lots of people are spending a whole bunch of time watching the live. And I'd love to grow this into my full-time thing, whatever, it ends up being. But part of that growth requires more people to be here watching the show. So if you're not doing some stretching, which I recommend you do, because we're doing it together, and I want you to be feeling like you're making progress with us. But if you happen to be taking a break, tap the screen, give me some likes, help the algorithm know that we would love some more attention. All right. Thank you so much, everybody. Suri says, what's poppin'? Welcome back, Suri. Idney, says, thanks. You're welcome. I hope that clarified your question about the reverse pigeon pose, which is more like the frog pose. Cool? All right. I think that is all of it in the chat. We are about an hour and a half deep. I don't see anything else on YouTube. I don't see anything else on TikTok other than Certified 20 says, I got you, Ken. I appreciate it. I appreciate it very much. Okay, we're done with the weekend. The weekend has 4 lives, right? We got the Saturday, Sunday mornings, and Saturday and Sunday nights. So I am tired and ready to get back to one live a day. 9 p.m. tomorrow evening and the day after and the day after that. We're doing side splits. We're doing hip mobility. I try to bring good vibes. So I'd appreciate it if you came back and did some more stretching with me. All right. I know most of you guys probably are. There's like 13 people left. If you stayed this late, I assume you've been following for a while. So I'll see you guys soon. Cool? Closing out. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. And thank you, Mamacita, for sending people to. Oh, ooh, Mamacita. There's something you asked this morning that I thought about, and I can't remember what. Oh, I remember. You asked about doing push-ups, I think, in a way that doesn't strain the neck, right? And I told you if you're actually doing push-ups, if you're not moving your neck and you're just stabilizing it, that is totally doable. But if you want your neck to stay in the same spot in space while not using any like neck muscles when you're doing the push-up, it's going to be really hard. But I give you some tips perhaps that if you went to a gym and you did some machines, one of them is like a chest press looking thing where you sit in a chair and then you push your arms forward. That might be a way to keep your neck from getting involved in that movement, right? And then I also said if you were at a gym, maybe you could do some bench press, right? Like laying it down and doing this motion. But thought of another way you can potentially do that at home. If you have some elastic bands and you wrap the bands around your back, so you put, one end on one hand on the other hand, and you get the band to go around your back. Do I have a band? Let me just demonstrate this because this is crazy. I think I do. Give me a second. Ugh. Oh, hey, look at that. Oh man, but this is like a crazy looking band. I have no idea how much weight this is, but here we got a band. If you do something like this, right, you can still do something that's very similar to a push-up, which is pushing your arms away from you without getting your neck muscles super involved. Most people, when you start doing the motion, you'll probably tense up a whole bunch of muscles all over your body, so your neck muscles might tense up anyway. But if I misunderstood your question and I didn't give you a good answer last time, here's another one that you can do at home. Cool. All right. I think now, now we're done with the lab. Zane says, "Have a good night," and we are ready to wrap. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, Mom, see this says thank you. You're very welcome. I was thinking about it, and I was like, was there other answers that I could have had? Was I prepared for this question? I mean, I made the answers up on the spot from whatever I could remember, but hopefully that was helpful. All right, we're done now for realsies. I'm closing out. I'll see you guys real soon, tomorrow at 9 p.m. if you're here, and otherwise, have a great rest of your